My name is Gérald Mazzalovo. I've been CEO of several luxury brands group like Ferragamo, Loewe, Ungaro, Bali, and more recently Jim Thompson here in Bangkok. In parallel, I've always been teaching in university, and I have been teaching in Europe mainly, Paris Dauphine, Instituto de Empresa in Madrid, Istituto Europeo di Design in Milan, and in Asia at Sasin since 2020, where I'm currently a Senior Research Fellow. I have written 7 books, 4 of them on brands, and the last one is the one I want to present today, which is Exoticism, Brands and Society, the fruit of 5 years research, which I'll be happy to comment as we go on. The main target is a brand manager, whether it's a CEO, communication director, everybody who has to make decisions on how to communicate and how to create within the brand framework. Exoticism is not a word which is used very often, and especially in Asia, but it's quite simple. We experience it every day. It's part of most of the decisions we do, especially in consumption. Everything which has to do with desire is somehow related to exoticism. It's a universal phenomenon, and it's triggered by the awareness of differences. In short, is a judgment on the perception of differences, judgment or attitude. So it's not that complicated, and you see how widespread and applicable to a lot of different events. The book is proposing exoticism as an analytical instrument for brand manager. It's not a new brand management approach. It's more an additional tool that you can apply to the way you currently manage to fine-tune or discover aspects that you have not considered before. It's an add-up, a more sophisticated and more acute way of managing creation and communication for brands. The differences that there may be between Eastern and Western approach to exoticism. My initial feelings were that you had a complete symmetry, in the sense that if you perceive a difference, then exotism can be generated. So the Chinese coming to Paris, they find it exotic. And me coming to Asia, I find it exotic. But when we did the survey, which is one of chapters of the book, on the Thai consumers, we had that input which is quite, makes me perplexed. For a Thai person, a Farang, a Westerner, is not exotic. But an African person is exotic. Brands have to be careful. We cannot go up to the people who recommend, like in the woke movement, that you cannot talk about a foreign culture if you're not part of that culture. And if you do it, you have to ask authorization from the people of the local culture, whether consumption or literature and all that. It goes to complete irrationality. So you cannot go up to that point. But you have to be careful and respect the dignity of the culture you're talking about or you're borrowing from, to be able to utilize and promote elements of other cultures without falling into disrespect. Thai consumers are reacting very positively to exoticism. Nostalgia is a subset of exoticism. This is the time modality of the 5 modality I'm going to talk about now. Time is an important one, and there are very interesting surveys being made on how the different generation of Thai people, consumers, are reacting to nostalgia. There's a lot of respect for the past and for the elders and for how the life was before. What I call exoticism modality are the way in which exoticism comes into life, how it is perceived, how it is produced. And there are 5. The first one, which is the most common, is the distance. When we talk about amazing Thailand, the guy in Europe or in Africa or elsewhere, Thailand is far away, it's very different culture, fauna, flora, and all that, and that's distance. Then with the time we have just talked about, mainly related to the past, but also to science fiction, to projection in the future. You know how the brands are using utopian world which are bound either to come or not possible or probable, but I mean that's the two dimensions of past and future are generating exoticism. Then we have mystery. Mystery, it always works for brands. I mean, of course, it's not applicable to all type of product. It goes very well with fragrance, it goes a bit less with watches. Then you have seduction everywhere. In advertising, seduction is used systematically. And I mean, the difference between a man and a woman or two human beings who find themselves different and triggering attraction, travel is the last one. Travel in itself, people are attracted by the nomadism. Travel is supposed to bring you somewhere, you know, so it's part of exoticism. Distance exoticism is going to bring you there. But the travel in itself, the time you spend there, the way you do about it is also part of exoticism. When you do watch advertising, if you try to utilize that travel modality, that's probably going to work.